Breaking news, the Brewers are moving on to the NLCS. Bryce Terang in the bottom of the seventh in a one-run game says, let's make it 3-1. Milwaukee, can they taste it? They still got to get the outs. Abner Uribe, 2 outs, 1 out away. A ground out from Carson Kelly, and that is your ball game. The Milwaukee Brewers win the I-94 rivalry over the Cubs, and they win a playoff series for the first time since 2018. And on this night, it was all about the long ball. Andrew Vaughn in a home run. William Contreras and Bryce Terang in the bullpen game. The pitchers, they did their job. Cubs, a valiant effort, just 3 runs short of completing a crazy comeback, but their season ends in Milwaukee. It's going to take on the Dodgers in the NLCS. And for more on the Brewers advancing to the NLCS, we bring in CBS Sports MLB writer Matt Snyder. And Matt, when you look at how Milwaukee was able to get this done, right, you think they're going to sweep the Cubbies, and then they're able to get the job done at home. What do you make of the way their season has come together in a year where they had the best record in baseball?
Yeah, look, they've gotten to the point where they're good at everything. One of the concerns heading into the playoffs was, hey, they might not slug enough. You need to be able to slug in the postseason to get the job done. Then they go out in game 1 and they scored 9 runs without even hitting a home run. So it was like, hey, maybe we don't need to slug. But then in game 2, they scored 7 runs and all those runs came on home runs. And then here you see tonight 3 home runs for their 3 runs. They're showing like, hey, they can do it without the slugging, or if you want to see them slug, they'll go ahead and slug as well. And then the way they piece it together in the rotation, they very rarely make mistakes. It looked like maybe there was a mistake to bring in Aaron Ashby, but they go ahead and they pull the plug there and they bring in Chad Patrick, who has been unbelievable for them this season. He's been very under the radar, but he's been great for them. It's a complete team. They play great defense. They steal bases. They pitch well pretty much top to bottom, whether it's the rotation, whether it's the underbelly of the bullpen, whether it's the stud arms in the bullpen. And like I said, they can hit. They can beat you without the home run. They can beat you with the home run. This is a complete team. And I have a feeling that almost everybody is going to predict the Dodgers are going to win the NLCS. They're going to be a heavy betting favorite. But I think it would be foolish to count the Brewers out. They've been the best team in baseball since late May, and they're not going away quietly. No, they're definitely not. And we're going to talk about the Dodgers-Brewers series in a little bit. But before we do that, what did you make of – because sometimes when it's a bullpen game, you're not sure what you're going to get. And especially in a tight game, people can get really tight and nervous. What did you like about the way every pitcher just followed up, even after Suzuki, hit that first home run, the only run, that they were locked in and they knew that they weren't going to produce as many runs as they were in the past, and they were still going to get the job done? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jacob Mizraowski gave up that Seiya Suzuki home run. That was the first batter he faced. He completely locked in after that, completely shut the Cubs down through the bulk of his innings. I believe it was 3 innings that he went. They started McGill, Trevor McGill, who was their closer for most of the season. They started him and got one inning out of him. And when he was going to the dugout, he was screaming, well, it was with obscenities, but he was screaming, we're winning this game. And that's kind of what their mindset was. It was, we are going to win this game. There's no if. There's no question about it. They played with a level of confidence that showed that they all believed that. On the other side, yeah, the Cubs were in this game and it was close, but the Cubs were sloppy. I mean, we saw a few plays where PCA kind of misplayed a ball in center. Dansby Swanson made a throwing error. That's 2 errors in the series for Swanson. He only had 11 all season in 159 games. So the Cubs were a little bit more sloppy. The Brewers looked like there were no nerves. They were comfortable. They were confident. They were totally in control. That's what winners do, and that's what the Brewers are. So the Brewers are the winners. The Cubs, their season ends in defeat, and we know they're going to try to get back to this point and advance in the NLCS. So when you think about their roster makeup and some of the errors that they made throughout the series, what do they need to do to elevate so they're in the NLCS next season? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because most of the roster is intact and under contract, most of the important players, except Kyle Tucker is the one that sticks out right there. It's, hey, Kyle Tucker's going to hit free agency. He's going to get a huge deal. He's not expected to sign with the Cubs, but they could put Seiya Suzuki in right field. They have Ian Happ in left. They have Pete Armstrong in center. They could pretty much run it back. The entire infield is back. Both of their catchers are signed through next season. Most of the rotation is coming back. Other than, you see, there's an option on Shota Imanaga. I believe it will get picked up, but then they might trade him. It'll be interesting to see what they want to do in the outfield because, like I said, they could kind of run it back, but you're losing Tucker. Maybe you could sign a DH. I'm sure a lot of Cubs fans would love to see Kyle Schwarber come back and fill that DH role. I think he's going to stay with Philadelphia, but they need a big bat in the middle. And it was glaring to me during the playoffs that Kyle Tucker was not himself. He hit one home run in Game 4 in Wrigley, but that game was already over. There were a lot of big spots in this game tonight when Tucker came up, and there was just, at least for me personally, no confidence that he was going to come through. They need some thunder there, whether it's bringing back Tucker and he gets back to his old self before he was injury plagued in the second half, or whether it's somebody from outside the organization. They need somebody there to provide the thunder in the middle of the lineup. Otherwise, you got a lot of kind of supporting character types. Like, I love Nico Horner. Michael Busch was great atop the lineup there. Ian Happ, he runs hot and cold. Seiya Suzuki, he runs hot and cold. But you don't have like a super duper star in the middle there. And when you're a mega market team like the Cubs are, like the Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers have plenty of superstars. The Yankees have Aaron Judge. The Cubs don't have one of those guys.
No, they do not. And they are now 0-12 all time in playoff series after losing the first two games. So a lot of work for them to do over the offseason as they look to get back into that NLCS picture. Matt Snyder, we appreciate the time, man. And how about this? The Brewers, one of the franchises with 0 World Series titles, okay? 1969, all right? It's been a long time. Been a long time.